Hello everyone, so this is the final video in my Lightning Spear installment, so to speak, and this is the best build in Dawn of the Hunt. I think, yeah, I can safely say that, it's by far superior to everything else. It's Deadeye Lightning Spear. So what do we do, guys? So we will have a Sacred Flame, right? Therefore, we will have a Purity of Fire, and the stuff that we use in Purity of Fire is free. So I do have Cannibalism, Herbalism, Precision, and Clarity in it. Clarity can be changed for Vitality, for Life Regen. I just went for Clarity because, we have the Eternal Youth Keystone passive, which allows us to regenerate our life, regenerate our energy shield with our flask, so we shouldn't be taking too much damage, so I went for Clarity, but feel free to swap this with Vitality. And I will remind you that these do not reserve any spirit, so you can just put whatever in at no cost, right? So in Spear Stab we have Blind, Martial Tempo, Rage, Pinpoint Critical, and Splinter. Pinpoint Critical can be replaced if you did the build properly, because, yeah, as you can see, I do have 100% crit chance, so I should be replacing this. This is wrong, right? I should be replacing this with maybe Maim, whatever it is, right? With something. But the other stuff, so this Pinpoint Critical is only required if you do not have 100% crit. But with this build, you should be going for 100% crit, if not something very close at the very least, right? We have Spear Throw, we have Fork and Conduction in here. These are not really very important, you can omit them. Let's go over them in order. We have Lightning Spear and Lightning Serpent's Fury. Lightning Spear, we have Volt, Perpetual Charge, Prime Armament, Deliberation, and Long Shot. Deliberation is to be used with the Rhoa mount only, right? If you don't have Rhoa mount, don't use this. You can use Fork. We can take it from here. And we have Wind Serpent's Fury. We have Concentrate Effect, Close Combat, Overextend, Blindside, and Ambrosia. Ambrosia is interesting. It's a new one. Infernal Cry is part of our boss killer package. As you can see, I put them in the first 3 skills. Lightning Spear is on my right click, so mapping is done with Lightning Spear only, and boss killing is done with these 3 skills only. You just do them in order and the bosses will die, right? I mean, map bosses will die, and pinnacle bosses, you will have to repeat this same performance. So in Infernal Cry we have Raging Cry, we have Enraged War Cry, we have Premeditation and Murderous Intent. Yeah, it helps us cull. It will help us with the remaining 5%. This only works on 5%, but 5% is 5%, not bad. Then we have our Myriad Powers. Yeah, so guys, there are of course many variants for Deadeye Lightning Spear as well, right? The reason I like mine is, as you can see, I have a very nifty 0 spirit left over. And normally, you get to choose between Wind Dancer or Ghost Dance, or, you have to choose between something, right? With this build, with this variant, you do not have to choose between anything. You turn them all on, right? I will reveal my secret in a moment. So guys, in Herald of Thunder we have a Neural Overload and Electrocute. That is to generate frenzy charges with Combat Frenzy, right? I have a specific video on this. This combo allows us to prime them for Electrocute, and then we electrocute them and we gain charges with Combat Frenzy. We have Innervate, Lightning Infusion, and Execute with Herald of Thunder. We have Wind Dancer, Heft, Retaliate, Magnified Effect, and Heavy Swing. So guys, what this does is, when we are on the mount, any damage that we take builds up towards, not any damage we take, but most damage we take builds are heavy stun, which you can monitor here, right? And when they finally heavy stun us, Wind Dancer inflicts such a heavy damage, it can one-shot enemies straight away, and if it can't, it will knock them back, making it less likely that we die. Right? Combat Frenzy has Profusion in it, Ghost Dance has Fast Forward in it, these are classics. Do the quality on everything, right? We have the Rhoa mount with Loyalty, right? This is very nice. So 10% of damage we take goes to the Rhoa, and Rhoa is tanky enough to take that 10%. It will not die. Elemental Army, to give more life, to give more survival to the Rhoa, right? We have Minion Mastery. One level is one level, I guess, and they take less damage, so they die less frequently. And keep in mind, when you get off the Rhoa, it is attackable, right? I mean, it will attack and do nothing, but it will be attacked and die, right? I mean, it can take a few hits, but that's it. Anyway, let's go on. And finally, we have Cast on Critical. Sniper's Mark in there, right? That is for boss frenzy generation, because, guys, there are two aspects in the game, right? Mapping and the similar stuff, and bossing, right? And in bossing, you cannot expect Combat Frenzy to provide you with frenzy charges, right? I mean, you will have to electrocute, pin, or freeze, and bosses, even if you can pull it off, it's not going to be frequent. You need them all the time. So we do Sniper's Mark, Impetus, Energy Retention, Ingenuity, and Inspiration. That's on Cast on Critical. So, guys, how does the Spirit work, right? I mean, how can I turn these all on at the very same time? Because, guys, take a look at this. 30, 30, 30, 30, 120, 60, 180, and 100, 280, right? So there is a 25 gap between what I have and what I equip. So, guys, Cast on Critical is the easy version. Let me just do this, because, guys, the unprofessional in me wants to do these trades. So, guys, Cast on Critical, when you quality Cast on Critical, the reservation goes down by 10%, so the reservation is actually 90, right? So that's 10. So how do I save the other 15? So you save the other 15 by picking up this and this. 25% reduced reservation for companion skills, and Rhoa reserves 60. So 25% discount means we save another 15 and we can turn it all on. So, guys, how to reach 255, right? That's another problem. So we get 100 from the campaign, 100 from Sacred Flame, right? And we get a little from Beacon of Aziz. So how does it add up? So the way it adds up is you do a socket, and sadly you put the expansive Rabbit Talisman in for 10 additional spirit, right? And you pick a Beacon of Aziz with perfect spirit. So the 30 is fixed, right? You want a 15 implicit. So 13 plus 15, 45, plus 10, 55, and plus 100, 155, plus the campaign, 255. And if you do all of these, if you align everything, you can turn all of the power zone. As you can see, they are all on, right? That is what I like about this build. But, not many people go for the companion tree, but it's not a bad tree. It gives us a lot of damage because, the points leading to that reservation reduction give you bonus damage for having a companion, so they are not bad. So, yeah. I like this variant. Okay, so let's go over the gear second, I guess. And as I said, guys, this is the best build there is. S plus tier, right? For season 1, this is the best build. Just like the Auto Bomber was the best build for season 0, right? But of course, it was not on the same level. Auto Bomber was broken beyond measure. I would actually say S plus 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 or something like that, because infinite mobility, infinite damage, infinite survivability, or very high survivability all at once. Yeah, this build is not like that, right? So, guys, what do we want? We want a Tangle Tongue with the highest crit rate possible. As you can see, I have a decent one here, 23% crit. It can go all the way up to 24%, but the prices go insane. I mean, you know, I also do a price check when I'm doing the build guide, guys. So I will give you like 5 seconds to guess the price of this one. Right? It's gonna be above what you expect, I think. So for example, guys, ones with almost perfect critical chance, you know, 19.5%, and 2 sockets are a little below 10 divine, right? These are worth 40 divine, sadly. Yeah. I mean, I'm talking about Tangle Tongue with, you know, more than 23% crit. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem. Very expensive, sadly. And I did explain how Tangle Tongue works. I mean, let me, you know, go over it very shortly. You have to reach 100% critical, right? And when you have 100% critical, you will be double critting with every single hit, which means the critical damage bonus will apply twice, every single time. So if you have 500% critical bonus, right? So normally, guys, you are going to deal 100 damage. With critical, you are going to do 600 because you have a 500% bonus. And with Tangle Tongue, you are going to deal 1100 because you are double critting, right? That's what it does. And guys, if you are playing this build, I would say you should reach that, right? You have to balance this between your gear, your passive skills, and your jewels, right? And there is nothing to be gained in exceeding 100%. You should get to 100% exactly. So, you know, how can you arrange that? You know, you can go for jewels without crit chance on them. Instead, you could go for crit damage, or you could pick nodes that reduce your crit chance, like this one. Can I find it immediately? For example, right? Yeah, I would have liked to get this one. This is actually very, very good. Reduce crit chance, increase crit damage bonus. I don't have it. But yeah, this is the price of the companion tree, right? I would definitely go there, I would say. Anyway, let's go over the gear. So we get a Tangle Tongue with as high crit as possible, so we can reach that 100% easily, right? Instead of 19.5% crit with 2 sockets, we go for this one. Also, pay attention to the intelligence because, you know, the attributes aren't very easy either. Next up, we have helmet. Helmet, we want as high energy shield as we can, so we can utilize subterfuge mask, which will give us evasion. I mean, the build all synergizes together, right? And of course, try to get as many useful suffixes as you can. As you can see, I have some intelligence, okay amount of cold resistance, and a wasted suffix, and some acceptable amount of life on it. This one is around 10 divine, I think. And you can imagine the prices of the 3 useful suffix ones. It goes pretty nasty and expensive. But yeah, if you can afford it, by all means, go for it. Then we have Sacred Flame. These were around 20 divine when I got them, right? 58% extra fire damage gives a ton of damage. And the 10% Spirit Rabbit sadly is worth about 7 divine as well. So you could be able to get this maybe around 25 divine if you get them with the thing socketed in, right? You can specifically search for this, right? You can look for, you know, the socket, or you can just search for 110 Spirit. And keep in mind that the recent patch allowed scepters to get a second socket as part of their corruption, so you can even get 120 Spirit here. But yeah, would be extremely expensive, I think, because, you know, 2 rabbit charms, the second corruption socket, etc. And thing is, guys, if you are going to buy this corrupted, make sure that it has the quality on it, because the quality will give us 8 fire resistance. So guys, the thing is, it grants us a level 19 purity of fire aura. Purity of fire aura gives us fire resistance, right? And at level 19, it gives us 40 resistance, right? And this time around, it also works for us, right? Generally, this stuff is for allies in our presence only. Nope, this time it's allies in our presence and us, right? And quality gives us 8% more resistance. So guys, if you get this without quality, you will be cheating yourself out of 8 fire resistance. So if you get it with quality, you are gonna get 48 fire resistance out of it, right? So you should be aiming for 27 fire resistance instead of 75. That is normal, right? The amulet is pretty simple, beacon of Aziz, because guys the attributes are very demanding. I went one for strength, I went one for with attribute corruption, right? But keep in mind, if you are getting one with attribute corruption, it will be corrupted, and therefore you will have to have the anointment on it already, right? So we go for stone charge, so you have to look for something that has strength, dexterity, or intelligence from corruption and storm charge already allocated, right? If you don't, you can't do it yourself. Also the quality, but the quality is no big deal here. There's only one thing that can be quality, that's mana. And you know, if you miss like 15 mana, it's not the end of the world. So you know, you can just let the quality go. I was lucky to find it like this. So that's what I went for. And what you could do is you could actually go for a beacon of Aziz with higher spirit, right? Because the corruption can increase the implicit and the explicit beyond their natural limits. So you could also go for that. But I definitely suggest the attribute corruption there. For chest, you wanna go for as high evasion energy shield as you can go, while keeping meaningful suffixes. Sorry. As you can see, I have a decent amount of energy shield and evasion here, and 3 meaningful suffixes. While their ranges are not top notch, they are still pretty good. This is, I would say, a little above 10 divine, 12-ish maybe. You know, so just you can put this into perspective. So for example, if your budget is like 5-6 divine, you can let go of, you know, 1 suffix, right? You could get something with 2 useful suffixes and some blah version, right? The rings and the gloves are very, very important because guys, Tangled Song's damage is not very high, so you are going to get your damage from your rings and your glove, right? Most of the time. So as you can see, I have one with some resistance, rarity, and very nice amounts of added damage, but my third prefix is wasted, and even this would be worth above 10 divine, I think. Yeah, you can understand why I haven't gone for 3 damage versions, right? And keep in mind guys, the quality, right? The attack quality, what's the name on it? The catalyst, the attack quality catalyst, I believe it was called Reaver. It's mighty expensive. So if you get a breach ring and you are going to apply the quality on it, that's going to cost you like 2 divine or something to do the quality, right? So when you're buying stuff, keep in mind, right? So for example, you see a 7 divine breach ring without any quality on it, and you see a very similar one, 8 divine, that does have the quality on it. The 8 divine with quality on it is actually cheaper, right? Because you will have to do the quality, and that will become close to 9 divine. Let me, show you. It might have dropped a little bit because we are getting more thingies, but I have exalted orbs. I want river catalysts. Nope, they are still mighty expensive, guys. And if you can see, guys, I have to pay 1 divine. 1 divine is around 200 exalted right now, maybe a little bit above, but let's say 200. So in order to do full quality on one regular ring, not breach, I have to pay about 1 divine. So guys, sometimes it gives 2%, so I guess 18 are enough, but as you can see, it is mighty close, right? So it's very close to 2 divine to do the attack quality on a breach ring, right? Keep this in mind. This one is a good one. I like this one. As I said, I can upgrade this, but it's going to be very painful because as you can see, I do get a decent amount of, I do get 60 resistances here, right? 9 plus 3 times 33. I got the magic find, I got the rarity, and I got tons and tons of damage because these are both perfect, or yes. The physical damage is 1 tier lower than it should be, but the fire damage is perfect. And I think it should have a decent range. No, sorry. As you can see, guys, the fire damage is almost perfect. Right? 1 damage off from the minimum, 1 damage off from the maximum. So 1 average damage low, right? Just that, right? So the chaos damage is useless, but yeah. And then we have the other ring. Again, decent damage, rarity, and this time around I have triple meaningful suffixes again. Sadly, the damages are not really great, right? As you can see, fire and lightning. The lightning is mighty low tier, and yeah, that's about it. But guys, what you want is, if you are being strict, you want triple attacks, right, as prefixes. You want rarity as the suffix, because rarity can be a prefix or a suffix, and you want two other good things, right? That's what you want, but as you can imagine, mighty expensive. So for the gloves, and you want to get as much energy shield as you can from the armor whenever you can, but it's not a very big deal. As you can see, guys, I have only 55 there, no big deal. Again, flat damage, crit damage bonus, very important, because we double dip on crit damage, as I told you, with Tangle Tongue. As you can see again, so that life is not a very good idea. I have too much life, you know, around 1.5k is enough. So what I should have gone for would be attack, 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 rarity, crit damage, and, you know, resistance or attack speed, whatever I can get. But that life should be exchanged with a attack modifier, and that fire is also low. I need to pick something that's better. So this is around 5-6 divine. I'm guessing this is around maybe 8. I am just making these numbers because, guys, I did get these items a little while ago and the prices change. Then we have a headhunter. Try to get as much stats as you can on the headhunter. Definitely 3 slots, right? Keep in mind that you cannot do divine it to get 3 charm slots if it's already corrupted. So if it's already corrupted, make sure it has the 3 sockets. Okay, that's it. And the boot. 35% movement speed is a must, right? Because we have Vault in our skill. So we need to rack up these charges as fast as we can. So 35% movement speed, whatever energy shield that we can get, and triple meaningful suffixes. As you can see, I do have it: intelligence, fire resistance, and lightning resistance. Life is not bad. More energy shield would have been better, right? On everything. Well, not on the gloves. So guys, on rings and gloves, we want triple attack modifiers, right? Adds physical damage to attacks, adds cold damage, and we do not favor elements this time around because we have nothing that penalizes us for dealing cold damage, and we do not have increased percentages to lightning damage or whatever, or even if we do, they are not very high amounts, so we do not care which element it is, right? We just want flat damage added on our rings and our glove. Crit damage is also pretty good. As I said, we double dip on it. For the charms, I'm using a freeze charm, a bleed charm, and a slow charm. I should actually be using the unique version of this one, but sadly it's worth 40 divine, and I think it's a bit much, right? I mean, I do have the currency, but I couldn't bring myself to pay 40 divine for it. Maybe, you know, if I make some lucky sales or some lucky buys, I can go for it. The Fall of the Axe, I believe it's called. And what it does is, guys, whenever it gets triggered, it activates Onslaught for, I don't know how long, 5 seconds, whatever it is. You know, increase movement speed and increase skill speed. It's very good, but as I said, it's 40 divine, so I'm not using it. So you could say, why no stun charm, right? Because this build is definitely getting stunned. So the problem is, guys, when you are riding your Rhoa mount, you are immune to light stuns, which is what the stone charm is efficient for, right? The stun charm. That's its name. The stone charm is the charm that prevents the stuns. The thing is, though, it doesn't actually prevent stuns. It allows you, it fully allows you to get stunned. What it does is, it prevents you from getting stunned for 3 seconds after you get stunned. So you do get that stun. But why do so many people use it? So if they are using it on this build, they are wrong. They are misplaying, that's why. And if they are using it on another build, the thing is, every single hit can inflict light stun, right? There is a chance. So when you are mapping, it is very likely that you can get stunned, especially if you don't have very high life. And what it does is, guys, so I have a lot of enemies coming at me, right? They hit me, I get stunned, right? I do receive that stun, and that stun lasts a fraction of a second, and my charm triggers, and I am immune to further stuns for the following 3 seconds. So that's good, right? The problem with the Rhoa mount is I am literally immune to light stuns anyway, and whatever damage I receive builds up heavy stun. And the thing is, heavy stun lasts 3 seconds. And because the stun charm does not remove stuns, it doesn't do anything at all, guys. So I get stunned, I get knocked off the Rhoa, I cannot control my character for 3 whole seconds in which I am immune to stuns. What does it help with? I'm already stunned and I can't control my character. I mean, being immune to further stuns doesn't help. So if you are using the Rhoa mount, the stun charm has nowhere in your build, right? You don't use it at all. So as for charm effects, gain guard is nice. This is not bad. You could just do a magic one like I did here. For this one, as I said, you want the unique one if you have the funds. For this one, you want some percentage of the recovery applied instantly, so you can instantly fill up your energy shield, right? Because we have Eternal Youth, we will be instantly filling our energy shield with this one. And this one is, so guys, the prefix, normally guys, the prefix is the thing that increases the recovery or does instantly, whatever it is, right? This time around, the prefix is not important, but the suffix is, right? Why? Because we have Ambrosia in our Wind Serpent. Take a look at what it does. Consumes 20% of my mana flask charges on use and deals 3% extra lightning damage. So guys, take a look at this. This has 68%, so it has 125 charges, and 20% of 125 is 25. So it consumes 25 charges here from my mana flask and deals 75% more damage. It's insane. And the thing is, the increased charges suffix goes up to 70%. This is important, right? I want to make a specific video for this because people are overpaying for stuff that don't need. So the thing is, guys, when you get 70 charges, it becomes something like 128 charges or so. So guys, because it consumes 20% of my charges and it's going to round down, it's not going to do anything. Do not overpay for 70% charges. 68% increased charges does the same thing as 70% increased charges for the matter of Ambrosia, right? And you shouldn't be drinking your mana flask too often because we have so high intelligence to wear all this energy shield gear. As you can see, guys, I have a lot of mana, and I mean, if you spam the lightning speed a little bit too much, it can get a little bit low, but the occasional mana flask drinking would definitely set you straight. You do not even need a mana per kill jewel or mana steal or mana per kill gloves or whatever. You don't need anything, right? The mana handles itself. So the only thing that you care about is the 68% or increased charges suffix, right? The prefix doesn't do anything, right? Any mana flask is fine. Of course, don't get the removes from life part, right? That's bad, right? I mean, you know, there are some flasks that deal damage. So, you know, there is a life flask that removes mana and there is a mana flask that removes life. We do not want that. Anything other than that is fine. So that's about it. Let's take a look at the tree. So guys, this is very, you know, solid and certain, right? No one, you know, even debates this. That's how the ascension should be done. We have the tailwinds and we have the 3% less damage taken per tailwind. We have a 30% increased chance of getting double frenzy charges, max frenzy charges, sorry. And we will get like 5% from our tree as well. So 35% of the time, right? 1/3 of the time approximately, we will be gaining 7 frenzy charges. Yeah, and we will play the build with 7 frenzy charges. And this is the reason that we play with 7 frenzy charges. Skills consuming frenzy charges behave as if consuming twice as many frenzy charges. That will allow us to one-shot bosses with Wind Serpent's Fury, right? Insanely good. So we will have 7. So the Wind Serpent thingy will consume 14, right? It's mighty insane. So this is the first frenzy thingy that we grab, right? So it gives us more evasion and maximum frenzy charges. We go on, these are quite the classics, and you should be picking between these nodes, keeping your crit at 100%. So guys, if I'm overshooting the crit, right, these give me crit, I should be going for this tree, right? Because this would give me more damage. Because guys, crit above 100% doesn't do anything, right? These are, as I said, quite classics. Yeah. And I go here all the way. So guys, if I hit 97, I'm going to grab this node. And if I hit 98, I'm going to grab this node. There is the spear node in here. Yeah, this might be overly excessive. Maybe I could unspec these and go for something else. I do get 2 jewel nodes, and yeah, this one from it. Yeah, there is a variant in which you sacrifice a jewel slot with necromantic talisman that allows you to allocate passives within the range of Dance with Death without connecting them, and you grab this one and these and go on. Yeah, it's an option. Then we go on, we sadly skip this one. Normally it's pretty good. The companion tree has its cost, but take a look at this, guys. 8% increased damage, 8% increased damage, 8% increased damage, 8%, so 32% damage, right? And also these increased companion damage also help us here, right? Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, actually, I have found a fault here, maybe. I should not be using this, should I? Take a look at this. Deal 30% less damage, which means I'm reducing my damage by 35%. Yeah. Rude Awakening. Let me see. It doesn't register. Yeah, we'll see about that. Anyway, let's just go over it. So these are the ones that enable us to turn everything on at the same time. Again, frenzy stuff here. This critical tree. And we go from here to grab the subterfuge mask. This is very good. Normally we allocate it with the hunters. But in here we don't. We just grab them ourselves. We go frantic again. So guys, 2 frenzy charges from here, 1 frenzy charge from here, and 1 frenzy charge from here. Normally we have 3, so we can have 7. And the reason we go for this when we don't go for it on the Amazon is this. It will consume 14, and that's why we go for the wind serpent thingy instead of stormlands, right? The bosses are going to be much more pleasant because we just one-shot them, you know, not exactly one-shot. I mean, you do spear stab, you do infernal cry, and you do wind serpent's fury and bang, right? Against pinnacle, of course, you will have to repeat the rotation a few times, and then we go on. This is a bit of a classic, right? With lightning spear builds. Again, there is this crit node here. We grab eternal youth. So guys, what I would have liked to grab would be, you know, this part, more energy shield, more evasion. I would have liked to grab this part. This is insanely good, right? 60% crit damage bonus, and we double dip on it, right? And you know, I would have to sort the crit out somehow, but you know, I could with this. I mean, I could be able to do it somehow. Yeah, this place is very nice. There are some variants, of course. And that's it about for the tree. About the jewels, guys, you should be going for crit chance, not crit chance for spells, crit chance, okay? Because we have, you go for energy shield, crit chance, crit damage bonus, and whatever else that you can find that is useful, right? Elemental damage is also pretty good, right? Until you hit 100% crit chance. After you hit 100% crit chance, you don't need to, or you could, and you could unspec some points. So for example, guys, you could unspec these points, and you could spec these. So 10% critical hit chance would actually mean 15% crit damage bonus for you. So you have to play with that, lightning spear tooltip, right, until it reaches 100%. So you know, measure how much 10% crit gives you. It's gonna give something like 1.5% crit, and let's say you have 99%, and you put that on, you are going to have 100.5%, which means you can still lose 0.5%. Yeah, it should be at 100% exactly. Okay, so now let me show you how it plays, right? It's been a long thing. Okay, go somewhere with the boss. Okay. And keep in mind, guys, if there are many enemies around you, if you get heavy stunned, there is a very good chance that you will die. Keep in mind about the, you know, exit character selection screen, this trick, right? Let's go. We do not fire this one without seeing 10 stacks here, because without 10 stacks it will not chain, right? And the Rhoa is going to help us big time here, because it allows us to fire lightning spears without any moon spears. I got heavy stun. I got his on death explosion. No big deal. But yeah, I should have been a little bit more careful there. And guys, when your heavy stun build-up is built, as you can see, it's about 20% here. Sadly, it doesn't degenerate at all, right? It will remain there, permanently. The best method is just to do an action that is not allowed on the Rhoa, as to get dismounted, and then hop back on. That will reset. I'll just demonstrate soon, and it will be fully clear, right? And how much you stay off the mount, it doesn't even matter. You stay off for 0.5 seconds, it will still be fully depleted, right? It doesn't degenerate slowly, it just empties immediately as soon as you get off the mount. I would have liked if it degenerated a little bit. As you can see, guys, at the beginning of the map I got hit once, and I have this one. It just doesn't go down. There's the boss. Let's go to the boss last. Prismatic ring. Yeah, I think I will have to remove that meat shield from my Rhoa. I will put an erratum in the explanations once I decide. When I was explaining it to you guys, it dawned on me. Hold up. Increases and reductions to the companion also apply to you, and now I do have. And guys, we don't even profit very big time from having 35% damage reduction to the Rhoa, because it only shares 10% of our damage, and the damage, it will be able to handle that 10% damage even without the meat shield, right? It's not that squishy. It's like, I'll show you, it has 4.5k HP. I have something like 5k. So, the damage that's supposed to kill me is going to be like 500 to the Rhoa, and even without the reduction, yeah, he can handle that much. Okay. Oh, there is. As you can see, guys, it's pretty pleasant. As I said, do not stay in the same spot and keep firing lightning spear. You always have to move left, right, so you can have the volt stacks. Okay, more on it. So guys, I haven't received damage again after the beginning of the map. Once more. Okay, ritual. I like ritual, but sadly it is a bad mechanic for this build. Right, the tornado of rats, the wave of blood, they all build up stun extremely quickly. Very dangerous. The plants are horrendous. Don't be embarrassed to get off the mount, right, if you have to, because ritual will be crowded, and if you get heavy stunned while you get to tornado, you get caught in tornado, etc., it can be lethal. Just hop off, right? No shame in that, because I didn't go off and I died many times. It's better than dying. Especially the plants, guys. The plants are terrible, right? I was, I think, on stream, and I died 3 times total in like 10 hours maybe, and they were all in ritual maps with plants. Yeah, pretty terrible. Because they kite you for so long, one of them hits you, you get instantly heavy stun, and the others will catch up to you and kill you. But they also inflict very heavy damage. Yeah. If you get off your mount, at least you will have a higher chance. Okay. Let's follow this idiot. I hate this mechanic, guys. Even as the buff form, it's still very weak. By the way, see how hard damage the Wind Dancer did. Did you see that? They hit me and they quite died. Jingling Crest Shield. Alright. So as you can see, pretty fast mapper, right? And you throw your spear and kind of everything dies. Ooh. So my heavy stun is pretty built up, right? I don't want to get heavy stun, so whoop. And back I go, and as you can see, it's fully empty. Right, pretty good trick. I mean, you could do anything that gets you off the Rhoa. You could even portal. Portaling is not allowed either. Yeah, it's a little bit weird, but it's not allowed. Only spear skills. Sorry, only thrown spear skills. Melee spear skills are not allowed. Only thrown spear skills, bow skills, and mark skills are allowed. As you can see, the spear stab is not allowed. You can't do it on the Rhoa mount. And what it does is it prevents you from getting light stunned, and it allows you to move at full speed while doing your skills without any penalty. Okay, I'm getting a little bit cornered here. Okay, I'll just dismount just in case. Because guys, I can handle if the tornado hits me. What I can't handle, most likely, is being heavy stunned on the mount. So, yep, so we got everything done. Okay. Let's see what we have. Okay. Okay, I'll grab that, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Okay, where is it? There it is. Oh, this guy. I died to this guy once, by the way. Okay, I get off here, guys, because my skills will be disabled. I mean, guys, I still get impressed by this. One shot. Doesn't give a crap. Just one shot. And I think I had 5 frenzy charges and not 7. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah. Because that's what you do. You get off your mount, you do a spear stab, right? Ping. You do the infernal cry, and you do the wind serpent, and goodbye, sir. And thing is, keep in mind, guys, so this wind serpent thingy does a knockback, which even the bosses are not immune. Even the pinnacle, right? Even Zesht can be knocked back by this. And thing is, guys, so this guy cannot be knocked back, obviously, because he has a fixed spawn location. But guys, so for example, let me go like this. Okay. So guys, I'm here, right? And let Rhoa be Zesht here. Don't move, Rhoa, right? And I hit him with this, right? With the serpent. So it's gonna knock it back, right? And its back will, he will collide with this plant, right? And what that does is it releases shock waves and these increase damage. So guys, try to position yourself like this, you know, wall, boss, and you, right? So if the boss is between the wall and you do the wind serpent, they will get knocked back and it will trigger shock waves, dealing further damage. I mean, if you have a very good build, I guess you can like 2-shot Zesht. Yeah, that's how crazy it is. I mean, 1 shot, I'm not very sure. And I'm talking about max difficulty, by the way. 30 million HP. Yeah. Yeah, you do the spear stab, you do the infernal cry. So why do we include the spear stab, guys? The reason that we include the spear stab is, so first of all, it gives us rage and blinds the enemy. And Wind Serpent's Fury deals extra damage against blinded targets. That's why we do it. Where was it? It was somewhere. That's why we have blinding. I mean, it's not included here. This does something extra with blind. That's why we start off with the spear stab, and the spear stab will trigger the cast on critical and give us frenzy charges, right? That's how we get. So guys, the rotation against bosses is spear stab, infernal cry, and then the wind serpent. And if that doesn't kill, you keep doing spear stab. It's very fast anyway, as you can see, right? We can do it almost thrice per second, as you can see, with full tailwind stacks. So guys, and the thing is, we have a 35% chance of gaining max frenzy charges when we gain frenzy charges. So it is very likely that you will get 7 frenzy charges out of nowhere, right? Because we will get 1 frenzy charge from the sniper's mark, and that will be amplified to 7. Then when you see the 7 frenzy charges, you do the Infernal Cry and the Wind Serpent's Fury again. I would say pinnacle bosses. Shall we try a pinnacle boss? It's a long video. I guess we can. Oops, I shouldn't have done this. I'm gonna get this mount anyway. I should have okay, let me dump these somewhere. Okay. Let's dump these. Where does it go? Oh, it does go here. Okay, sure. Nice. Anyway, let me not get sidetracked. Let me get these here. Okay. So guys, let me grab a Breedstone. Okay, time for Zest. I hope I can pull it off. I mean, I think I can pull it off. I'm talking about, you know, the trick in positioning. Okay, I hop on. Keep in mind, the movement speed is not that big a deal, so I can fully dismount. But guys, the Rhoa will give you damage in a sense, right? The reason for that is you build up volt stacks, right? And because we get penalized less for our movement when we are actually casting the spears, being on the Rhoa will give us you know, more movement speed, and therefore we will build up volt stacks faster, right? So it will pseudo give us damage, right? Because we will be building up volt stacks faster. And as I said, try to make sure that you do not cast the spear without 10 stacks, because it chains at 10 stacks and receives bonus damage. If you do it before, then you won't receive those. Okay. So the gauntlet part is, as you can see, pretty easy, but the timer is a little bit low. Maybe I have left some of them alive. Well, he did survive a spear. Interesting, okay. I'll just get off. This is a little bit crowded. So guys, in mapping it's important. In here it's not, because, you know, movement is not an issue, right? Wow. No, I have done this before. You know, the timer wasn't as close as this. It's weird. I guess I skipped some monsters at the beginning or something. Okay, no, it's all good now. Okay. It's over. It's over. Okay. Whoa, that's a lot. Let's not bother with the blue ones. Okay. So let me build up my tailwind while the guy is spawning. So guys, I want to position myself here, right? Yeah, that was a little bit worse positioning. Okay, let me just run. Okay. Hey! Both at once is a bit of a bad move. He's also... Yeah, I mean, guys, I didn't do it very well, but I guess I could have done it a little bit better, but as you can see, it's pretty safe. Oh, Tangle Time. Oh. Wow. That's a lot of loot. Okay. So that's it, and that was difficulty 4. You know, let me just show you in case there is any doubt. And take a look at this. It's difficulty 0. Bang. No, it's difficulty 4. And so this is the best build there is, right? As you can see, this is why I favor it over the other one, because with the Stormlance it is a little bit longer and the boss moves around, it gets a little bit uglier. There is no such thing here, but you have to reach 100% crit, right? It's very important. Yeah, and I guess I will include an erratum in the in the comments, right? See, by the way, my mana flask charges are consumed. Why? Because of Ambrosia. When I did the Wind Serpent's Fury, it consumed my charges, so that's it. So guys, yeah, I will think about this one here, this support, and also this support definitely seems questionable, right? I will take a look at this, and as I said, I will include the erratum. And yeah, so this is the best build of the season. I would say, definitely go for it if you have a Deadeye. If you are playing Lightning Arrow or the Lightning Crossbow, my build, I would definitely recommend that use Respect, right? Because this build has no problems with anything. It might take a little time for you to get used to this fine fella, right? The Rhoa companion can get you killed, but also it does save you a lot of time. So that's about it. If you have questions, feel free to ask them, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.